Hey everyone, with Avatar pre-release coming tomorrow, I wanted to take a look at where we are with the sealed products and compare it to where we were with the sealed products of the more recent sets like Spider-Man and Edge of Eternities. So here I have the Avatar Collector box, which is currently sitting at $536 per box. And if you take a look, it is on a pretty steep decline if we're looking at the 1 month chart. But if we zoom out, it's had an interesting history. So if we go all the way back to August, this box was sitting at $950. And this was before Spider-Man released, before Spider-Man crashed the whole market for Magic cards. And then after that, the box went all the way down to about $560 before the debut stream, which we saw a spike in sales volume, which brought the boxes all the way up to almost $700, and then a steady decline or a sharp decline ever since then. Now, if we look at the 3 month chart, we can see how many boxes were sold on a 3-day period. And if you take a look, we have 135, and this includes today, so this number will continue to rise today. And then the 3 days prior to that, we had 182, 162, 145, 161. We had this large spike day right here with the debut stream, which was 327. Before that was 125, 141, 133. So on a 3-day period, we are averaging about 150 to 160 boxes sold for Avatar, which is not bad. So we're looking at about 50 boxes per day or so. And the set has not even released yet, and this is pre-release. So let's take a look at Spider-Man. So here we have the 3 month chart for the Spider-Man collector box. Now Spider-Man released on September 26th. So this is right here. This really large spike was the release date for Spider-Man, and it was at about $580 during that time, that 3-day period, and there were 546 items sold during that period. But prior to the pre-release, which would have been about here, the Spider-Man boxes were selling about 170, 93, 314, and then before that, we were looking at 47 boxes, 23 boxes, 43 boxes, 40 boxes. And these are on a 3-day period. So Spider-Man was only selling about 40 boxes or so per 3 days. So only about 13 or so boxes per day before the pre-release. However, those boxes were at about a $850 price per box, which is really high and likely contributed to the fact of why there was such low sales volume before Spider-Man. And at release, it was about the same price or a little bit higher than where Avatar currently is. So we are currently seeing a much higher sales volume for Avatar leading up to pre-release than we did for Spider-Man leading up to pre-release. Now let's take a look at the Edge of Eternities collector box. Edge of Eternities released August 1st. And we can only look at the 6 month chart here because of the release date for this. And the 6 month chart only shows the 7-day period. So these numbers for how many items sold are for a 7-day period of time. So let's look. Leading up to August 1st, Edge of Eternities during a 7-day period of time was selling about 486, 527, 595, 415 boxes per 7 days. So if we average, let's just say about 500 to 550 boxes per 7 days. And if you average that out, you're looking at about 70, 80 boxes per day. But don't forget, those boxes were much cheaper than the Universes Beyond boxes, and they were going for about $300 to $400 per box. Now, Avatar has sold a total of 2,185 boxes, collector boxes so far. Compared that to a total of 5,400 collector boxes for Edge of Eternities and 4,500 collector boxes for Spider-Man. So Avatar has sold almost half the number of boxes as Spider-Man has, and we have not yet hit pre-release. whereas Spider-Man has been out for about 2 months now, and we have sales data for Spider-Man leading all the way back to March of this year, whereas we only have sales data going back to August 11th for Avatar. So from August 11th until now, it's about 4 months. And in 4 months, Avatar has sold 2,185 boxes. And for Spider-Man, we need to go all the way back to March, which is about 8 months. And Spider-Man has sold a little more than double Avatar in the last 8 months. So where do I think the Avatar box is going to go from here? I think it definitely has more room to drop. And I think we could see this box in the upper $400 price range. I don't think it's going to go as low as Spider-Man, where we're going to be seeing $400 or even under $400. I think the Avatar collector box will not drop under $400, but I do expect to see this under $500 in the upcoming weeks. The collector box for Avatar just doesn't have that many good chase cards in it. There have been box openings already where people are not getting that much value from the box, and that's really going to keep the value and the price of the box in the short term low. Not only that, but a lot of the stuff that you can get in the collector box, you can get in the play box, which is nice. So there just isn't that much uniqueness or special treatments of cards that people actually want or chase after that are coming from the collector box. And couple that with the fact that the collector boxes are very expensive at over $500, I definitely see this going down over the next 3 to 6 months. So be careful if you're buying Avatar collector boxes. I definitely think this is going to be going down before it goes back up. Now let's take a look at the play booster boxes. Now, the play booster boxes have been pretty volatile recently as well. Just a couple of days ago, they were sitting at over $170, and now they have dropped to under $160. And actually, I saw some listings earlier for under $150. But there is quite a high number of volume for the play boxes being sold right now. And based off of what cards are coming out in this set is looking like it's going to be a fun draft limited environment, and also may have some decent impacts on the standard metagame and commander as well, especially after the recent standard banning. So I do expect this set's play booster boxes to have a decent high volume of sales. Now, if we look at what was going on with the Spider-Man play booster boxes, see, Spider-Man has a total of 6,000 boxes sold. And if we look at how many boxes of the play boosters were being sold leading up to the release, per 3-day period, it was about 200 boxes per 3-day period for the Spider-Man play booster box. Avatar, we're currently looking at about 300 to 400 boxes per 3-day period leading up to the pre-sale. And for comparison, Edge of Eternity's, so the Edge of Eternity's play booster boxes are really wild. There's like a shortage of Edge of Eternity's play booster boxes and high demand. And so these boxes are sitting at $180 per box. And the set just came out on August 1st. So it's only been 3 months, and we're running out of Edge of Eternity's play boosters. Of course, they're going to get a reprint, but this is what could happen if a set is very popular and there isn't enough supply to meet the demand that's out there. A lot of the local game stores in my area quickly ran out of Edge of Eternity's play boxes and had to host events such as their drafts with a different format because of this shortage. Now, could this happen with Avatar The Last Airbender? We don't know right now because we don't know how many play boxes are out there in the market. But there is a high volume of sales of the play booster boxes, certainly much higher than the Spider-Man play booster boxes. Leading up to the release date of Edge of Eternity's, there were about 1,000 boxes sold per 7-day period, with a large spike of 2,600 boxes sold here. Now, there's a total of 10,000 Edge of Eternity's play booster boxes sold so far on TCG Player, and 6,000 for Spider-Man. And Avatar, we haven't even hit pre-release yet, and there's almost 4,000 boxes sold. So it's looking like there is quite high demand for the Avatar Play Booster boxes. And whether the price of these Play Booster boxes will rise quickly over the short term due to supply issues will really depend on how much supply there is out there. So there's a possibility we could see something like Edge of Eternities, where the Play Booster box prices rise dramatically in a short period of time before getting a reprint and coming back down really hard. This happened with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy had really high demand for its play boxes, and it went from about 150 all the way to about 240, 250 per play box in a short amount of time. Final Fantasy recently just got its reprint for the play boxes, and the boxes have come back down to about 160 now. Could we see something like that for Avatar? I think it's possible. I certainly don't think we're going to see Final Fantasy, because Avatar is not Final Fantasy. But could we see something like Edge of Eternities? Edge of Eternities, the Play Booster boxes are up 20% over the last 3 months. So could we see a 20% increase in price of the Avatar Play Boosters? I certainly believe we can. So if we're at 160 right now, we could be seeing these boxes go for about $190 or $200 within the next 3 months. All right, everyone. So it looks like the collector boxes for Avatar won't be doing too hot in the near term, and it does look like there's potential for the play boxes to do well in the short term before getting a reprint and coming back down. So if you need some play boxes to do some drafts, I would pick some up sooner rather than later. I think this is going to go to 190 in a couple of months. And if you are in the market for some collector boxes, I think you could wait a little bit, wait until after release. I think this is going to be dropping below 500. Let me know your thoughts. Are you looking to buy some play boxes of Avatar to crack open, to draft with, or to just hold? And are you going to be buying some collector boxes? Are you going to wait? Or are you going to get in on the collector boxes now, and potentially it could rise in the short term? Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you soon.